Hi friends, welcome to Easy Nurse where nursing education made easy. So as part of Lakshya 3.0 series, we are conducting the exam-oriented live classes for you. So this is completely for the first year post-BSc students. So my dear post-BSc students, please attend. This will help you to how to write the exams, what are the important things you need to study, and this will help you definitely in the preparation of your exams. So let's discuss what are the subjects coming in the first year post-BSc nursing, how the exams will come, what are the type of questions will come, what are the models of question paper. Let's see. So first we will see about what are the subjects that coming in the first year post-BSc. It is mainly nursing foundation, nutrition and dietetics, biochemistry, biophysics, psychology, microbiology, maternal nursing, child health nursing and medical surgical nursing. So these are the main exams you need to write for your exam. So this is the theory part. So what are the subjects? First, nursing foundation, nutrition and dietetics, biochemistry, biophysics, psychology, microbiology, maternal nursing, child health nursing and medical surgical nursing. So total 7 subjects you need to write for the theory exams. So first we will discuss about nursing foundation. So let's detailly discuss what are the chapters of nursing foundation, how many chapters coming, what are the main chapters you need to focus while you are preparing for your exams. So nursing foundation has 7 chapters and it is for 35 marks. So what is the first chapter? It is development of nursing profession. That is the unit 1 of nursing foundation, where you need to study about define nursing profession. So you need to study mainly on the what is nursing profession and the development of nursing as a profession, ICN code of ethics, explaining the expanded role of nurse, explain the ethical principles that the nurse must consider when providing the care to patients. So the ethical principles as a nurse you need to consider. So you need to study about the ethical principles, define profession, explain the characteristics of professions with the reference to nursing, state the functions of TNAI and also define nursing profession and state its characteristics and explain nursing as a profession. So these are the 10 marks questions you can expect for your exam or either a 5 mark question. Explain the importance of ethics in profession, describe the ICN code of ethics. So you need to study about the ethical principles and ICN code of ethics, along with list the qualities of professional nursing and explain the development of nursing education in India and trends in nursing education. So from this first chapter, you need to mainly focus on profession. What is nursing profession? What are the code of ethics? What are the regulatory bodies there in the nursing profession and about the development of nursing education in India. So that is the first chapter of nursing foundation. Coming to the unit number 2, that is concept of health and illness. So what is we need to study in the unit number 2? It is stress and its type we need to study. Explain with the example effect of health and illness in a person. So these are the important questions or topic that you need to study from the unit 2. Explain the development of concept of toddler with examples. Holistic nursing, explain stress adaptation with suitable example, list Erickson's stages of development from infancy to school age, developmental stage of a toddler, explain the need of an infant, list any 4 problems of old age, explain health illness continuum. So that is also one of the important topics, health illness continuum. Describe the factors influencing health and illness. So these are the unit number 2, the important topic that you need to focus while preparing for your exam. So coming to unit number 3, that is theory of nursing practice. Here you need to study about the nursing theory. So explain any one theory of nursing practice, write the importance of theories in nursing practice, explain the meta-paradigm of nursing, list the 4 basic meta-paradigm concepts in nursing, 4 central concepts of nursing theories, list the nursing theories, explain the 4 meta-paradigm with respect to the theories, explain the 4 concepts in theory of nursing practice, define meta-paradigm, explain any one nursing theories with example. So these are the repeated questions that came from this chapter number 3, theory of nursing practice. So you need to study at least some of the theories with examples. So what is defined nursing theory and list some examples. You need to explain the theories and meta-paradigm of nursing. So these are the main things you need to study in unit number 3. Coming to unit number 4, that is nursing process. So what is nursing process? So we need to study from this chapter mainly planning in nursing. So all the nursing process we need to study. Assessment, we need to study about assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation and evaluation. So we need to study about these 5 main steps. So that is nursing process. List the tools of nursing assessment. Explain the steps in nursing process. So what are the steps here? Assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation and evaluation. Explain in detail about assessment of nursing process. Explain the tools of assessment and the steps of assessment in nursing process. Evaluation, tools of evaluation. Evaluation in nursing process, define nursing process, explain briefly the components of planning phase in nursing process, nursing assessment, tools and techniques of evaluation. So mainly evaluation, assessment and the nursing process, define nursing process. So what is nursing process? What are the steps of nursing process? It is assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation and evaluation. So that is mainly nursing process unit number 4. Coming to unit number 5, we need to study about quality assurance. So, nursing audit. It's a very important topic. It may come for a long essay, short essay, as well as a short answer. Explain the process of nursing audit, quality, define quality, total quality management, INC, define quality assurance, state the functions of TNA, the quality management, total quality management, explain how nursing audit is performed in 200-bedded hospital. So, this is an example. Like this you will get in a 50-bedded hospital, in a 100-bedded hospital, in a 200-bedded hospital, what will be the nursing audit. List any 4 roles of professional bodies in maintaining the nursing standard. So, you need to study mainly about the professional bodies that controlling this nursing and nursing audit and about also quality management. So, that is the quality assurance unit number 5. Coming to unit number 6, it is primary healthcare concept. So, what is we need to study here? About holistic nursing care, team nursing, discuss progressive patient care, primary nursing, explain the details and concepts of primary healthcare. So, these are the important things we need to study in the unit number 6 of nursing foundation. So, coming to the unit number 7, that is biomedical waste management. So, what we need to study here about the waste, solid waste, explain the nurse's role in biomedical waste management, list the type of hospital waste, define waste, write the types of hospital waste and hazards associated with hospital waste. Explain in detail about biomedical waste management and solid waste and its disposal, cytotoxic drugs, discuss the management of biomedical waste management. So, these are the main questions you need to study in this last chapter, that is unit number 7, biomedical waste management. So, now we are going to see about a model question paper from the nursing foundation. So, this will be a model question paper. So, let's see. So, long essay will be there. You have 2 options, but you need to write 1 long essay, that is for 10 marks. You will get a 1 long essay for 10 marks. Like example, discuss the expanded and extended role of nurse and also explain any one nursing theory with examples. So, this is a model question paper. Then after long essay, you need to write the short essays, that is answer any 3 into 5, you will get 15 marks. So, 3 questions you need to write. Ethical and legal issues in nursing, explain health illness continuum, explain planning in nursing and discuss the management of biomedical waste. Next is short answers 5 into 2. So, you will get 5 questions with each carrying 2 marks. So, it is for total 10 marks and it is nursing audit, list the tools of nursing assessment, holistic nursing care, list any 4 also professional bodies in maintaining nursing standard and also what is the code of ethics in nursing. So, this will be the pattern, long essay, short essay and short answers. So, you will get 2 hours to write the exam and total it's a 35 marks. So, this is the nursing foundation. So, as a nursing foundation, while you writing, you need to focus on the question numbers. Already in the answer sheet, some of the universities, they will have all the question numbers. So, you need to see the question numbers, attend all the questions and write what you know about the particular topic you need to write. So, nursing foundation is basically based on the theories and the weightage also. So, this is entirely about nursing foundation. Now, the second subject we are going to discuss is nutrition and dietetics. So, nutrition and dietetics has 4 chapters and it is carrying 35 marks. So, you need to study for the 35 marks from the 4 chapters. So, the first chapter, that is Introduction to Nutrition and Dietetics. It's very important chapter. You need to study about balanced diet, mention the facts that affecting the balanced diet, what are the micronutrients and macronutrients, give the examples, list the principles and method of cooking, classification of food. You need to see components and importance of balanced diet and balanced diet for elderly, explain about the food standards, food adulteration, baking, explain various methods of cooking and its effect on nutrients. What are the factors affecting food and nutrition and what are the nutritional needs of pregnant women and plan a menu for the pregnant woman. And what is menu planning? Explain the steps involved in menu planning. So these are the questions you need to study about balanced diet, classification of foods, micronutrients, macronutrients, how to plan a menu for a elderly people, for a child, for a pregnant woman, and what all the things we need to consider in the menu planning, cooking methods, food adulteration, food standards, everything we need to study in the first chapter. So this is Introduction to Nutrition and Dietetics, the unit number 1. Now coming to the unit number 2, it is Introduction to Diet Therapy. So what we need to study? Clinical inputs of reducing malnutrition, factors affecting the BMR, and explain therapeutic diet for hypertension. You need to study particularly for a disease condition what will be the therapeutic diet. Hypertension, diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular disorders. If the patient is suffering with, what are the planning for a diet therapy? And protein energy malnutrition, beriberi, obesity, therapeutic diet for renal disorders, scurvy, malnutrition, dietary management of patients with vitamin A deficiency, and plan a therapeutic diet for a diabetic patient. So you need to see about the diet therapy for hypertension, renal disorders, cardiovascular disorders, any other type of disorders. So this is Introduction to Diet Therapy, unit number 2. Now coming to unit number 3, what are the important things you need to study here? It is infant and child nutrition. You need to study about breast milk, composition of breast milk, and explain the advantages of need for school lunch program in India, explain about supplementary feeding, milk hygiene, colostrum, baby-friendly hospital initiative, supplementary feeding for infants, weaning diet, problems in feeding with the infants in sick. So these are the things you need to study from the infant and child nutrition, that is unit number 3. Now coming to the last chapter, that is unit number 4, it is community nutrition. So what we need to study about non-vegetarian food supplement, explain briefly on current nutritional programs in India, and on special emphasis laid on nutrition during pregnancy, write about the excess of supplementary food during pregnancy. Explain about nutritional problems in India and discuss the importance of nutrition education. Explain the role of nurse in nutrition education. Explain the nutritional needs of a lactating mother in detail. Define community nutrition. Explain the various community nutrition programs, and also diet plan for a pregnant woman. Explain in detail about method of nutrition education in community and hospital. So these are the things you need to study from the community nutrition, that is the 4th chapter. So now we will see about a model question paper that is for nutrition and dietetics. You will get the first one is long essay. You need to write one long essay. 2 options will be there. Choose one long essay. Define, here the question is what is balanced diet. Mention the factors that is affecting balanced diet. And the second one is what are vitamins. Explain the sources, functions and deficiency of vitamin B complex. Coming to short essay, 3 into 5, that is 3 questions you need to answer. It is carrying 15 marks. And milk hygiene, therapeutic diet for renal disorders, method of cooking, guidelines available for menu planning. So coming to next category, that is you need to write the short answers. 5 questions you need to attend, 2 marks each carrying. So 10 marks totally you will get from the short answers. So it is sources of fat, poaching, food additives, colostrum and scurvy. So this is a model question paper that is for nutrition and dietetics. So nutrition and dietetics is also for 2 hours and you need to write a 35 marks. You need to answer for the 35 marks and it's a 2 hours exam. So in the section, next subject we are going to see is biochemistry and biophysics. So you need to study detailedly about both the subject. So it is paper 1 will be biochemistry for 38 marks and it's carrying 5 chapters. You need to study 5 chapters, 38 marks. Paper 2, biophysics, 37 marks from 11 chapters. So let's discuss first biochemistry. So first chapter is introduction chapter. You need to study about diffusion, osmosis, fluid mosaic model, mitochondrial matrix, mitochondria, importance of biochemistry in nursing, cells and its component, 4 characteristics of eukaryotic cells, and describe the process of transport mechanism across the cell membrane. So you need to study about mainly cell and cell structure, cell membrane, fluid mosaic model, and the importance of biochemistry in nursing. So that is the unit number 1. So coming to unit number 2, it is water and electrolytes. What we need to study here, write briefly on factors regulating the water balance, explain importance of water and electrolyte in functioning of human body, electrolytes of human body and its functions. So mainly about water and its importance to the human body, what are the electrolytes and its importance for the human body we need to write in the we need to study in the unit number 2, that is water and electrolytes. Coming to unit number 3, it is enzyme. So what we need to study here? Explain about enzyme inhibition in detail, marker enzymes of myocardial infarction, write any 4 diagnostic applications of enzyme, what are enzymes, give an account of effect of substrate concentration, pH and temperature on enzyme activity, classification of enzymes with examples. What is enzyme inhibition? Write in detail the types of inhibition and explain the factors affecting enzyme activity. Draw the graph wherever necessary. So these are the things you need to study from the unit number 3, enzymes. Coming to unit number 4, it is carbohydrates. So it's very important chapter to studying from the biochemistry, that is carbohydrates. So we need to study about the cycles here. So explain glycolysis with the example disaccharides, digestion and absorption of carbohydrates, gluconeogenesis, define gluconeogenesis, describe the pathway of gluconeogenesis in detail, carbohydrates classification, digestion of carbohydrates, breakdown of glycogen inside the muscle, glycogenesis, explain the digestion and absorption of carbohydrate, add a lot on lactose intolerance, describe regulation of blood glucose level and also classify the carbohydrate with the example and add a note on importance of carbohydrates. So we need to study about carbohydrates, the cycles, glycogenesis we need to study, gluconeogenesis we need to study about all the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. So this is the unit number 4. It's very important for you to study because it's a questions where mostly the long essays will come from this chapter. So now we are going to discuss about unit number 5, that is proteins. What we need to study here? Normal range of proteins like serum total protein, serum total bilirubin and all we need to study. Essential amino acids, lipoproteins, classify and mentioning the lipoproteins. Write a note on gout, explain the classification of protein. Urea cycle you need to study here. What is denaturation of protein? Name the forces stabilizing the tertiary structure of protein. Describe the detailed structural organization of protein. And also plasma protein and their functions is also very important, and biomedical importance of protein. So these are the things you need to study while studying the chapter number 5, proteins. So now let's discuss about unit number 6, that is fat. So what are the things you need to study? Classify lipoprotein, explain their biological significance. Name ketone bodies, how ketone bodies are formed and utilized. Also, write the normal values of HDL, LDL, VLDL in the blood and biomedical waste management. Describe the oxidation of fatty acids. Add a note on its energetics with examples. Functions of lipoproteins, biological importance of lipid, essential fatty acids and their importance and deficiency. Also, properties of simple lipid, explain the role of liver in fat metabolism and mention any 2 functions of cholesterol, role of liver in lipid metabolism. So these are the things you need to study from the unit number 6, that is fats. Now coming to the model question paper of biochemistry, we will see here it is long essay. You need to write 1, that is example, write the steps of HMP shunt way in detail and write the significance. Define carbohydrate, classify carbohydrates with the example and then add a note on importance of carbohydrates. So I have told you carbohydrate is an important chapter. See, the long essay is mostly coming from carbohydrates, protein and fat. And short essays will be 4 into 5. You need to write 4, 20 marks you need to get. Difference between diffusion and osmosis, transmission of amino acid and significance, role of liver in lipid metabolism, biomedical waste management, what are plasma proteins and their functions. So these are the some short essay models. Coming to short answers, you need to write 4 short answers, like 4 into 2, you will get 8 marks totally. List any 4 pancreatic lipase of GIT, galactosuria, classification of lipids with example, mention the normal value of blood urea, nitrogen and serum creatinine. So this type of model questions you will get for biochemistry. So biochemistry, you need to write total marks is 38 and 1.5 hours you need to write the exam. Other half hours you need to write the biophysics. So biophysics and biochemistry togetherly 1 page. Now let's discuss about biophysics. So biophysics total 11 units and it carry 37 marks. So you need to write biochemistry for 38 marks, biophysics for 37 marks total. That is your marks distribution. So coming to the unit number 1, it is you need to study about the units and measurement as well as unit of length, weight, mass and time. So these are the important things you need to study from unit number 1, introduction. Coming to unit number 2, this is vector and scalar motion. You need to explain vector with examples and define acceleration, mention its units, define velocity and acceleration and speed. So these are the things you need to study from the unit number 2, that is vector and scalar motion. Now coming to the unit number 3 is gravity. You need to study about the principles of gravity, application of these principles of gravity. So here, application of principles of gravity in nursing, effect of principles of gravity in nursing, what is center of gravity, explain the application of gravity in nursing, state and briefly explain Newton's law of motion. You need to study Newton's law of motion and its application to nursing. Write a note on application of gravity in nursing, state and explain Newton's law of motion, list the clinical application of gravity in nursing and discuss line and center gravity of human body. So you need to study about Newton's law of motion, Newton's law of gravity and the application of gravity in nursing. So that is you need to study from unit number 3. Coming to unit number 4, force, work and energy. Here you need to study about the simple mechanism with examples. So describe about simple mechanism and with the examples. Explain the types and transformation of energy, forces of the body, static force, define force and write its unit. Define simple mechanism, describe the types of pulleys and write the application of pulleys in nursing. What is lever? Describe various type of levers with example. What is a machine? Explain different type of simple machines and explain the term force, work and energy. Mention the unit. Explain the principles of machine. So these are the things you need to study from unit number 4. Coming to unit number 5, you need to study about heat. So that is heat. You need to discuss about the scales of temperature. What is heat? Explain the 3 methods of heat transfer. Write a note on regulation of body temperature, conversion of 25 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. You need to convert that formula. You need to study. Explain the different types of heat transfer, uses of heats for sterilization. Explain why steam burn is more injurious than burns due to boiling water. Write a note on body temperature regulation. Discuss physiological effects of heat. So these are the main things you need to study from heat. If you study, 95% of this chapter will be complete. Now, coming to the unit number 6 is light. So, the light we need to study about defective vision and its correction. So, it's a important question and a repeated question, defective vision and its correction. Not on light therapy. Explain types of light therapy, essential parts of eye with diagram. Explain biological effects of light, uses of light therapy and write a note on defects of vision and their correction. So, these are the questions you need to study from the unit number 6, that is light. Coming to unit number 7, it is pressure. So, we need to study about the different pressure of human body, give their significance, how do you measure them, give 2 examples. And what is normal blood pressure? Explain hydrostatic pressure and osmotic pressure. Also explain intraocular pressure and the factors modifying intraocular pressure. Mention the normal intraocular pressure and methods of measuring it. Write a short note on pulse oximeter, measurement of pressure in the body. So these are the things you need to study from the unit number 7, that is pressure. Coming to unit number 8, it is sound. What are the things you need to study from here? Uses of ultrasound, noise pollution and its prevention. So this question has repeated multiple times, noise pollution and prevention. Write audible frequency range of human ear. Write a note on vocalization and hearing. Describe briefly about audiometer and name the types of audiometer. What is normal audio frequency range of normal human ear? Explain the relationship between frequency, velocity and wavelength. Write a note on audiometry. So these are the main things you need to study from unit number 8, that is sound. Coming to unit number 9, it is electricity and electromagnetism. So what are the things you need to study from this unit number 9? It is what is pacemaker? Write a note on artificial pacemaker. So that is very important question, pacemaker and not on artificial pacemaker. Uses of pacemaker and defibrillation. Define electrical resistance and write its units. Write a neat diagram of ECG with the labels. What is current? Write the unit of current and explain the term current, voltage and resistance. Mention their units and write a note on Ohm's law. MRI and CT scan. MRI and CAT scan you need to write. Principles of electronics. Define electricity and magnetism. Explain briefly on ECG, EEG, EMG and ECT. So these are the things you need to study from electricity and electromagnetism. So next we will see unit number 10, it is atomic energy. So here what you need to study about? Uses of X-rays in medicine. So that is very important. Uses of X-ray in medicine. Explain the medical uses of gamma rays, uses of radioactive isotopes. What is radioactivity? Explain the use of radioisotopes in medicine. What are isotopes and isobars? write the uses of ultrasonic waves in medical practice. What are X-rays? How they are produced? List the properties and uses of X-ray in medicine. What are radioactive isotopes? So these are the main things you need to study about: X-rays, gamma rays, radioactive isotopes, and also isobars. So coming to the last chapter, that is principles of electronics. You need to study about common electronic equipments used in patient care like cardiac monitor, defibrillator, ventilator, infusion pump, syringe pump, pulse oximeter, ECG machine, suction apparatus, nebulizer, glucometer, dialysis machine, EEG machine, patient controlled analgesia machine, incubator, and fetal monitor. So you need to study some notes about this, that is in the principles of electronics. So now coming to the model question paper of biophysics, we will see here long essay you need to write one example like 1 into 9 marks. It is carrying 9 marks, so you will get 9 marks. Define simple machines, describe the types of pulleys and write the application of pulley in nursing. So explain the production of radioactive isotopes, mention its use in medicine. So you need to write one question you need to write and it's carrying 9 marks. You will get 9 marks from the long essay. Short essay you will need to write 4, that is carrying 5 marks. You need to get 20 marks. List down the fundamental units and their measurement in physics. Explain intraocular pressure and the factors modifying intraocular pressure, and also mention normal intraocular pressure and method of measuring it. Write a note on clinical or mercury thermometer. State and briefly explain Newton's law of motion. Briefly describe an audiometer and name the types of audiometers. Coming to short answers, you need to write 4, each carrying 2 marks. You will get the 8 marks. So you need to write a brief note on myopia and hypermetropia and their corrections. What is current? Write the unit of current, and write 2 uses of ultrasonic waves in medical practice. Write a short note on pulse oximeter. So this is the model question for biophysics. So biophysics, it's carrying total 37 marks. 1.5 hours you will get to write the exam. So first paper you need to write biochemistry, second paper you need to write the biophysics. Now next subject we are going to discuss is psychology. So psychology is having 12 chapter and it is for 75 marks. You need to write 3 hours the exam, 75 marks it is carrying. So unit number 1 we need to study about parapsychology, define psychology, discuss the scope of psychology and enumerate its application to nursing, explain the relevance of psychology in nursing. What is psychology? Explain importance of psychology with reference to nursing, branches of psychology, illusion and hallucination. So these are the main things you need to study from unit number 1, that is introduction. So you need to study about psychology, its scope of psychology, the branches of psychology and the psychology and its application to nursing. So second chapter you need to study about sensation, attention and perception. So detail you need to study about perception, explain the principles of perception, explain the determinants of attention, what are the types of distraction, define attention, explain the determination of attention, factors influencing attention, define perception, explain the principles of perceptual organization, factors influencing perception, types of attention, and you need to list the factors affecting perception and explain the errors in perception. You need to study about perception, also attention, and also you need to study about distraction. So this is mainly you need to study from unit number 2. So perception and attention is a 10 marker questions and a 5 marker questions. You need to study for that particularly. So coming to unit number 3, motivation, we need to study about define motivation, explain primary and secondary motives, define conflict, explain the types of conflict, theories of motivation, define frustration, give one example, sources of frustration, types of conflicts and resolution, explain the sources and types of conflict. We need to study about the types of conflict. What is motivation? Explain about social motives. So we need to study mainly motivation and frustration, also about conflict from this chapter motivation. Motivation, frustration and conflicts are the main topics you need to study in this third chapter. Now coming to the unit number 4, that is emotion. We need to describe about unpleasant emotions, describe about the expression of emotions and its connection with disease, briefly explain the characteristics of emotion and define emotion, explain the 2 theories of emotion in illness, and define emotion, changes that are observed during emotion. Study about emotions, definition of emotions, and what are the theories of emotion, how to express the emotions, and the emotions and disease connection. So that we need to study from unit number 4, that is emotions. Coming to unit number 5, it is personality. Define personality, describe the various techniques to assess personality. Define personality, explain Fred's psychoanalytic theory of personality, types of personality and classification of personality, and you need to explain about personality in types of personality in detail. So these are the things we need to study: the theories of personality, types of personality and the definition of personality. So that is unit number 5. Coming to unit number 6, it is psychological aspects of nursing. We need to study the psychological needs of adolescent, list the psychological needs of old age people, psychology of adolescents. Mainly we need to study from the unit number 6. So unit number 7 is individual difference. So we need to study what do you mean by individual difference and explain the role of hereditary and environment in individual difference and what is genes. So that is we need to mainly study from unit number 7. Coming to unit number 8, it is intelligence and abilities. We need to study about assessment of intelligence, intelligence quotient, that is IQ. We need to study about the IQ formula and explain the classification of intelligence test and its uses. What is IQ? How to classify individuals based on the IQ level, define intelligence, explain the theories of intelligence, explain the types of intelligence and test for intelligence and its uses. So these are the things you need to study. IQ and intelligence quotient we need to study mainly here. So that is intelligence and abilities, unit number 8. Coming to unit number 9, it is learning. So learning is a very important chapter. Define learning. Thorndike's law of trial and error we need to study. Trial and error in learning. That is mainly we need to study Pavlov's classical conditional theory and its application. Explain the insightful theory of learning, laws of theory, insight learning, classical condition and describe the laws of learning. So we need to study about learning, laws of learning and the theories of learning. So this is also very important chapter, unit number 9, that is learning. Coming to unit number 10, it is memory and forgetting. So here we will study about define forgetting, describe the causes of forgetting, memory traces, theories of forgetting, how to improve the memory, define memory, explain the memory process, what is forgetting, explain different ways to improve memory, explain the causes of forgetting and theories of forgetting. We need to study the memory, how to improve the memory and also about the forgetting, theories of forgetting and also the explaining the causes of forgetting. So this is we need to study in the memory and forgetting, that is unit number 10. Coming to unit number 11, that is attitude. So we need to study or define attitudes, factors influencing the formation of attitude, measurement of attitude, what is Likert attitude scale, what are the components of attitude, explain the factors influencing developing of attitude. So we need to study more detail about attitudes in the unit number 11. So these are the questions that have repeatedly coming from the unit number 11, that is attitudes. Now we will see about unit number 12, it is mental health. So we need to define mental health, characteristics of a mentally healthy person and also what is the defense mechanism, explain the types. So we need to study about defense mechanism and its types. That is unit number 12 of psychology. Now coming to the model question paper for psychology, so we will see long essay, we need to write 2 long essay, that is for 20 marks. So long essay is carrying 20 marks, we need to write 2. Define learning, explain classical conditions of theory of learning, define perception, list the factors affecting perception and explain errors in perception, define mental health, explain the characteristics of a mentally healthy person. So short essay, answers 7, we need to write the answers for 7 short essay, each carrying 5 marks. So you will get 35 marks from the short essays itself. Like example, explain the types of defense mechanism, explain laws of learning, briefly explain Maslow's theory of motivation, discuss the psychological needs of old age, what is IQ, how to classify individuals based on the IQ. Psychology is for total 75 marks and it is 3 hours. So you will get 3 hours to write the exam and it is in 75 marks. So you will see the short exercise continuously, like define forgetting, explain the theories of forgetting, explain the sources and type of conflict, discuss the strategies of promotive and preventive mental health, define memory, explain different ways to improve memory. So these are the examples for short essay questions. Now let's see about the short answers. You need to write 10 questions you need to attend. So each carrying 2 marks. You will get 20 marks from the short answers. Like mention the types of motive, define psychology, what is interoception method of psychology, what is chunking and memory peck, define emotion, what is denial, What are the components of attitude? Write the merits of observation method of psychology. Define creative thinking. Define reaction formation. So these are the questions you need to attend. Like this will be the model for your question. So you need to write 2 long essay, 5 short essay, and also 10 short answer questions. Now let's discuss about the other subject, that is microbiology. So microbiology we need to study 11 units and it is for 75 marks. So first unit number is 1, that is microbe. We need to study about the classification of microbe, classification of microorganism, and about the Koch postulate. So it's a introduction chapter. We need to study from this like this, and identification of microorganism, that is unit number 2. So we need to study about laboratory method, hanging drop preparation, and the staining technique, gram staining techniques and all. We need to study in this unit number 2, that is identification of microorganism. Coming to unit number 3, we need to study about growth and nutrition of microorganisms, about culture media and the bacterial growth curve. We need to study detailedly. So this is unit number 3. Unit number 4 is destruction of microorganism. You need to study about sterilization and disinfection methods and the nosocomial infection. So both are important, both are long essay questions. Unit number 5 is disease producing microorganism, about gram-positive bacilli, tuberculosis and leprosy, anaerobes and rickettsia. You need to study detailedly. So about gram-positive and gram-negative bacilli you need to study in unit number 5, that is disease producing microorganism. Unit number 6, that is fungi. You need to study about fungi and mycotic infection, the classification, the properties, everything we need to study about fungi and mycotic infection. Unit number 7 is immunity. So study about immunity, active and passive immunity, along with hypersensitivity reaction. So you need to study detailedly about immunization and all. You need to study about in this unit number 7, that is immunity. Coming to unit number 8, it is parasites and vectors, classification of parasite, Helminthus infection we need to study, vectors and disease transmitted through them. So we need to study about the classification of parasite and Helminthic infection. So that is parasite and vectors. Unit number 9 is viruses. We need to study about the classification, DNA virus, RNA virus. We need to study about all the viruses and about the characteristics disease caused by the viruses. So that we need to study in unit number 9. Unit number 10, we need to study about microorganisms transmitted through food. We need to study here food poisoning, microorganisms transmitted through food, foodborne infections, that is unit number 10. Unit number 11 is biomedical waste management, where we need to study about the biomedical waste management, the color codes, the waste and the disposal of waste and the role of nurse. We need to study in this chapter. So this is unit number 11. So this is the total chapters of microbiology. Now we are going to see about a model question paper for microbiology. So we will see the long essays you need to write 2. So it is 20 marks. You need to write the 2 long essay. Here example, define and classify immunity, describe detail about active immunity, describe the morphology and cultural characteristics of Cronibacterium diphtheria, write in detail about laboratory diagnosis of diphtheria, write the pathogenesis, laboratory diagnosis of immunoprophylaxis of rabies. So short essays, you need to write 7. So each carrying 5 marks, you will get the 35 marks. Like example, laboratory diagnosis of enteric fever, methicillin resistant staphylococcus aureus, and tindalization, bacteria flagella, immunofluorescence. So it is a 35 marks exam and you will get 3 hours to write the exam. So you'll see the continuation, complement, fixation test, Candida albicans, bacterial toxins, larva, migraines. So short answers, you need to write 10. So you'll get 2 marks for each, 20 marks from the short answers, like 4 agents causing sexually transmitted diseases, Koch postulate, say Nielsen's test, draw a neatly labeled diagram of bacteria cell, name 2 killed vaccines, sterilization controls of autoclave, and KOH mount, inclusion body with example, name the 2 parasitic infection in which man acts as a intermediate host, and prophylaxis of hepatitis B. So this will be the type of question paper you will get for microbiology, carrying 75 marks and 3 hours to write the exam. Now the next subject we are going to discuss is maternal nursing. So maternal nursing also it's 75 marks and 7 units you need to study. So the first chapter is introduction chapter, study about Planned Parenthood, maternal morbidity and mortality rates, MTP Act, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, and the family planning. You need to study from the unit number 1 in detail. Coming to unit number 2, that we need to study about review of anatomy and physiology of female reproductive system, about female pelvis, contracted and normal, and review the fetal development. So we need to study the anatomy and physiology of female reproductive system. So in the unit number 3, it is physiology of pregnancy. It is a very important chapter. Signs and symptoms and diagnosis of pregnancy we need to study here. Management of pregnancy, puerperium, labor and its stages is very important. Antenatal care, pregnant women with HIV or AIDS, management of common gynecological disorders and problems we need to study in the 3rd chapter, that is physiology of pregnancy. So mainly physiological changes and signs and symptoms of pregnancy and the labor and its stages is very important. So this chapter is very important. So this is unit number 3, physiology of pregnancy. Coming to unit number 4, the newborn baby. So we need to study about essential newborn care, jaundice and infection, feeding of the baby, small and large day babies. So this is very important chapter, the newborn babies. So unit number 5, that is management of abnormal pregnancy, labor and puerperium. So we need to study detailedly about abortions, ectopic pregnancy, gestational diabetes, PPH, eclampsia, pre-eclampsia and abnormal labor. So detailedly study about the abnormal pregnancy, labor and puerperium and its management. Nursing management is very important in the case of this disease conditions. So this is unit number 5. Coming to unit number 6 is drugs in obstetrics. We need to study the effects of drugs during pregnancy, labor, puerperium on the mother as well as the baby. So effects of drugs we need to study in the unit number 6, that is drugs in obstetrics. Unit number 7 is national welfare programs for women. So it is national welfare programs we need to study, infertile couples, problems associated with unwanted pregnancy and unwed mothers. So we need to study about the welfare programs as well as infertility and its treatment. So this is national welfare programs for women in the unit number 7. Now let's see a model question paper for maternal nursing. So the question paper carrying, so you need to write 2 long essays. So it is for 20 marks. Define breech presentation. Explain about the antenatal and intranatal management of breech presentation. So that is a model question. Define preterm labor. Enumerate the causes of preterm labor. Explain the role of midwife in prevention and management of preterm labor. Define cesarean section. List the indications of cesarean section and write the nursing care of cesarean section of mother using the nursing process. So you need to write the nursing care plan as well as in this 3rd question. So this is the pattern. And coming to short essays, you will get a 7 short essays you need to write, it carrying 35 marks. Like physiology of first stage of labor, neonatal jaundice, pregnancy-induced hypertension, breast encouragement, explain the types of pelvis, medical termination of pregnancy, write a note on antenatal care and partograph puerperal sepsis. So these are the types of short essays you need to write examples. So this also a total marks is 75 and it is a 3-hour exams. So you will also get short answers, that is you need to write 10 for 20 marks. List the causes of onset of labor. List down any 4 causes of female infertility. Write the causes of neonatal asphyxia, weight gain during pregnancy, define multiple pregnancy, what is hormone sign, state the components of Planned Parenthood, types of obstetric shock, write the cause of hyperemesis gravidarum and define augmentation of the labor. So these are the types of questions you need to write in the 2 marks. So half pages you need to write and also you will get a 2 marks for each and 10 questions you need to write, so 20 marks. So next subject we are going to discuss is child health nursing. It is also having 5 units and it's also for 75 marks, 3 hours you need to write the exam. So unit number 1 is introduction. So you need to study about modern concept of child care, internationally accepted rights of child morbidity and mortality rates, changing trends in child care, baby friendly hospital initiatives, hospital environment for sick child, and difference between adult and child, role of pediatric nurse in caring for a hospitalized child. So these are the things you need to study from unit number 1, that is introduction. Coming to unit number 2, it is the healthy child. You need to study here about the growth and development from birth to adolescence. So that is a long essay question, either from birth, newborn or toddler, school ager, preschooler, you will get that. So growth and development you need to study detailedly from the birth to adolescence period. Nutritional needs of children and infant, breastfeeding, supplementary feeding, artificial feeding and weaning. So weaning is very important topic. Accidents and causes and prevention, preventive immunization, play therapy. So these are the things you need to study from unit number 2, the healthy child. Unit number 3 is nursing care of neonates. So study about nursing care of newborn, neonatal resuscitation, nursing management of neonatal disorders and low birth weight, and organization of neonatal units. So that is very important chapter. Unit number 4 is nursing management of common childhood disorders. So you need to study about all the disorders, nutritional deficiency disorders, respiratory disorders, gastrointestinal, cardiovascular, genitourinary, neurological disorders. The disease condition you need to study from the introduction to the courses. What is the definition? Courses, clinical manifestations, pathophysiology, nursing management. You need to write for the disease condition, that is nursing management of common childhood disorders. So study about each and every disease conditions from different this system of disorders. So unit number 5, that is management of behavioral disorders in children, like behavioral disorders like any problems they are having, juvenile delinquency and all, you need to study from this chapter. Mentally challenged, physically challenged and socially challenged children. So these are the things you need to study in unit number 5, that is management of behavioral disorders in children. Now let's see a model question paper for the child health nursing. So there is 2 long essay you need to write for 20 marks. Like example, define infant mortality rate, enlist the factors affecting infant mortality rate, enumerate the preventive measures to reduce infant mortality rate in India. So the second question is define growth and development, discuss the factors affecting growth and development, enlist the principles of growth and development. Define hydrocephalus. So disease condition you need to write, study like that. Define hydrocephalus, enlist the classification and clinical features, describe pre and post-operative nursing care of children with hydrocephalus. So these are the pattern of long essays. Coming to short essays, also you will get 7 short essays you need to write for 35 marks. So it is examples, exclusive breastfeeding and its advantages, jaundice in newborn, artificial feeding, prevention of malnutrition. So this exam is also for 75 marks and 3 hours you will get the time to write the exam. So continuing, pneumonia in children and mental retardation, legislation in relation to child health and welfare, nephrotic syndrome and hemophilia. So these are the types of short essays you need to write. So total 7 you need to attend and you will get 35 marks. So short answers will be 10 you need to write. It is for 20 marks. And Balwadi nutrition program, meconium aspiration syndrome, developmental displacement of hip, green stick fracture, ophthalmia neonatrum, low birth weight, difference between drowning and near drowning, enuresis, school phobia, toddler. So these are the types of short answers you can expect for the child health nursing. Now the last subject we are going to discuss from first year post BSc, that is medical surgical nursing. So here also 16 units is there, 75. So this is the longest subject. You need to study the 16 units and it is for 75 marks. First is introduction to medical surgical nursing. You need to study about function of nurses in outpatient department and about intensive care units. Unit number 2 is nursing management of patients with specific problems, like example, fluid and electrolyte imbalance, dyspnea, cough, fever, shock, pain, unconscious patient, terminal illness. So you need to study about the disease condition. You need to write as a disease condition. If you are writing, you need to write the definition, causes, risk factors, pathophysiology, clinical manifestations, diagnostic evaluation, and also the medical, surgical and nursing management. So you need to study detailly about the nursing management of patients with specific illness in unit number 2. Coming to unit number 3, it's nursing management of patients with neurological and neurosurgical conditions. So it is neurological condition you need to study, like cerebrovascular accident, epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, multiple sclerosis. So these are examples. You need to study all the neurological disorders and the management, nursing management, as well as the medical and surgical management. So coming to unit number 4 is nursing management of patients with cardiovascular disorders, heart disorders. So you need to study myocardial infarction, hypertension, congestive heart failure, coronary artery disease, rheumatic heart disease. So these are the examples. You need to study every heart diseases. Unit number 5 is nursing management of patients with respiratory problems. So what are the respiratory problems mainly you need to study is pneumonia, bronchial asthma, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, tuberculosis, acute respiratory distress syndrome. So these are the important things you need to study, all the disease condition that is affecting the respiratory system. So unit number 6 is nursing management of patients with genitourinary problems. So all the things you need to study here: urinary tract infection, chronic renal failure, acute glomerulonephritis, benign prostatic hyperplasia, nephrotic syndrome. So these are the main things you need to study, but all the genitourinary condition you need to study in this unit number 6. Unit number 7 is nursing management of patients with the problems of digestive system like peptic ulcer disease, hepatitis, cholecystitis, gastroenteritis, cirrhosis of liver. So these are the important topics, but don't miss any topics because it's very important chapters. These are the other disease conditions from the digestive system also you need to study with the nursing management. Then nursing management of patients with endocrine problems, that is the unit number 8. That is, you need to study about diabetes mellitus, hypothyroidism, Cushing's syndrome and Addison's disease. Coming to the next one is unit number 9. It is nursing management of patients with musculoskeletal disorders. You need to study about osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, fractures and gout, especially, and also other disease conditions, minute and minor disease conditions also you need to study in musculoskeletal system. So unit number 10, that is nursing management of patients with female reproductive system disorders like pelvic inflammatory disorder, endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, carcinoma of the cervix and carcinoma of the breast. You need to study other disease conditions affecting the female reproductive system. So unit number 11, that is nursing management of patients with oncological conditions. Study about the cancer conditions like oral cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, every type of cancer you need to study, and the management like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, surgery and the nursing management. So that is unit number 11. Unit number 12 is nursing management of patients with burns. You need to study about burns, its management, calculations, rule of 9 and what all the surgical management and nursing management for patients with burns that we need to study in the unit number 12. So coming to unit number 13, it's nursing management of patients with communicable disorders like tuberculosis, malaria, typhoid fever, dengue and hepatitis. We need to study about communicable and also sexually transmitted disorders. Unit number 14 is nursing management of patients with disorders of eye, ear, nose and throat. We need to study detailedly about this and examples like conjunctivitis, otitis media, sinusitis, tonsillitis and eczema. So study about all the disorders of eye, ear, nose, throat and skin with this nursing management. So unit number 15 is nursing management of patients with blood disorders like anemia, leukemia, hemophilia, thalassemia and polycythemia. And unit number 16, that is the last chapter from medical surgical nursing. It is nursing in emergency like cardiac emergencies, trauma, poisoning, thyroid crisis, hypertensive crisis and adrenal crisis with nursing management. So now let's discuss about the model question paper, or let's see of the model question paper of medical surgical nursing. It has 2 long essays for 20 marks. So you need to write 2 long essays and it's a 3 hours exam for 75 marks. What are the causes of rheumatic heart disease? Enumerate the pathological changes that occur in rheumatic heart disease and explain the surgical management of client with valvular heart disease. So this will be the pattern. You will get the pattern of questions like this for your exams. So next is Miss Suma, 45 years old housewife, has been admitted for the treatment of cancer of rectum. So write the indication of colostomy, enlist the types of colostomy and explain about chemotherapy and management and side effects. So these are the patterns of questions you can expect. And Mr. Ravi, age 25 years, is admitted to neuro ward with the diagnostic of epilepsy. So define epilepsy, list the causes and classification of seizure and explain the nursing care of Mr. Ravi during and after seizure. So you need to write the nursing care plan here for this condition. So these are the long essay questions you can expect, or the pattern of long essay questions you can expect for the medical surgical nursing. So it is a 75 marks exam for 3 hours and we'll continue. So short essays you will get any 7 you need to write, it is for 35 marks, like explain the pathophysiology and drug therapy for pulmonary tuberculosis, enlist the types of anemia, explain the health education for prevention of anemia among adults and describe the management of client with TUB, differentiate between peptic ulcer and duodenal ulcer, explain the pathophysiology and medical management of diabetic ketoacidosis, describe the reconstructive surgeries available for burns, list the treatment modalities available for fracture of femur and explain the care of patients with skeletal traction. Describe the infection control protocol of a nurse must follow while caring for a HIV patient. Describe the acute care management of patients with organophosphorus poisoning. So these are the types of short essays you can expect for the medical surgical nursing. Now let's check about some 2 marks questions. So short answers, like you will get 10 questions, so 20 marks, like name the type of cataract, what is goiter, list the 3 principles of hemodialysis, differentiate between bronchiectasis and bronchitis, list the different mode of mechanical ventilator, what is Hodgkin's lymphoma, name any 4 clinical manifestation of Parkinson's disease, list the clinical manifestation of hypocalcemia, mention the types of anesthesia, write 2 drugs used in cardiac arrest with their action. So these type of questions you will get for the short answers. Till now, we had discussed all the subjects, how the exam pattern, what all the subjects, chapters you need to study, how the model question paper will come. I hope everyone understood. So now I'll give you some exam points that is related to your exam. So before exam, you need to make a plan. So study plan should be done. The weightage subject you need to study more. So make a plan. Divide subject and topic according to the available days. So next month you will have the exam. So based on the date, you divide the subject and study well. Focus on the important questions. Use short notes. So prepare key points, definitions and mnemonics, and revise daily. Practice writing. So write in fast. In 3 hours you need to finish for this particular 22 questions for this 75 marks. So you need to practice well writing. So these are the things you need to see about the before exam. So in the time of exam, so during the exam, read the question carefully. At the time when you will get the question paper, read the questions carefully and understand the key terms like describe, list, explanation and differentiate. Start with the non-answer. So in some universities, the question paper, the answer sheet already have the question numbers. Like in a Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Science, the paper, what we are writing, the answer sheet have already the numbers. So start with the non and attend all the questions. So don't get panic, attend all the questions and write what you know about the particular question. You will get definitely the scores. So start with the non-answers. Write neatly and to the point. If you are marking some point, highlight the point, underline the point and also do any color differentiation or underline the point and underline the keywords, manage your time. So don't overthink anything, calmly manage your time. If you have 2 long essay, 1 long essay, you write 15 minutes and within half an hour try to finish the long essay and go for the short essays and short answers. So try to, within 3 hours, try to finish all the questions and attend all the questions. So this is during the exam. Now the health and mind teams, you do have sleep well for 6 to 8 hours, eat lightly and healthy, stay calm, stay hydrated and believe in yourself. You can do it and stay back with Easiness, where nursing education made easy. We are here to help you and all the best for your exam. So this exam you'll definitely pass and don't worry too much. So we are here to help you. So follow Easiness from Play Store and App Store and also in Instagram and YouTube. Thank you.